Today we're going to have a look at how we enter small sets of data into the Casio FX82AU+2. It's not an easy thing. Well, it is once you know what you're doing, but at this point in time it's not that easy to remember what you're looking for. So hopefully this video helps you into how to enter them and what to look for on your screen and so on. So it's important to know how to use your calculator well, so it makes it easier to solve some problems. Not only how to enter the data into the calculator, but also how to navigate through the selections to answer particular problems. So if you wanted to find the mean or just the total of the scores, etc. So we're going to enter the following data into a calculator. So what we've got here is our Casio calculator. It's the same as what you've got, so the FX82AU+2, and we've already turned it on. And we want to put it into statistics mode. So we'll press mode, and we want the statistics mode, so we now press 2. Now we're doing singular data sets or one variable data sets. So we're looking for this one here, which is the number 1. And what you can see here is we've got a score column here. So what I'll show you is how we enter those scores, but if we wanted some other things as well, we'll have a look at that as we go through. So we'll enter the scores 12, 8, 15, 12, 7, 10, 13, 8, and 12 is my last one, and make sure we press enter. Alright, now what we're going to do is once we've entered the data is do something that looks a little bit weird, and we're going to press the all clear button so that disappears from the screen of our calculator. You can see we've entered 9 scores there. Okay, our 10th score we haven't entered anything in, but we'll press the all clear button and get that off our screen, and you can still see that it's in statistics mode. So let's have a look about a couple of things without our calculator. So what if we actually wanted a frequency column on when we were doing our data? So let's go back and have a look at our data. So shift stat. Alright, let's have a look at our data, which is 2. They're all the scores that we put in. Our last score, or that first score there, is 12. Alright, if we scroll down, our second score that we put in was 8. But I might want a frequency column on. So if I press shift mode, I get a selection of 8 things there, but I want to actually cursor down and go into this next section here, which is stat, and I can turn my frequency column on by pressing 1, and I've now got my frequency column on. That's good if we want to enter large sets of scores. If I have this for small sets of scores and I enter the data, then it will put a 1 next to each one. And that's okay, even if I have more than 112, it'll put a 1 next to each one, and it will count them all up separately anyway. But at this stage, we don't want that on, so I'll press shift mode, scroll down, 3, and I turn that off. Okay, so that's how we can turn our frequency on and off. We need to do that before we actually enter the data scores. So now I've got to put all that data back in. So I've put all that data back in, but what if we actually need to add some data? Well, that's easy to do so. So I've put my data back in, and I can go in and add, let's say we had a score of 13, I can put that in and press equals. Okay, so let's clear that. So it's gone off the screen, it's all still in there though. Oops, actually I don't want that last score that we just put in. Well, if I need to delete a score because I put something wrong, I can then go to shift stat, go to our data, and we can actually go down that last score of 13 I don't want, so I can actually delete that. Okay, so I've now only got my 9 original scores. So I've shown you how to add some data or delete some data. What happens if we accidentally turn the calculator off? Well, in this mode, this won't let me turn it off, but when I do, by pressing Shift the All Clear and turning it off, my data will remain there. Okay? The only time my data will go off or out of the calculator is when I come out of statistics mode, and I'll show you that later. So, we've got to be careful though, when we have finished, our fraction template that looks like this will not work on our calculator. So, I'll clear that. I'm still in statistics mode. What happens if I want to use my fraction template? I get this back to front L, which is the old way of having the vinculum or the line in the fraction. Alright, so if I wanted to enter in a half, then I have that line there, and that's what a half looks like. If I wanted 1 2/3, well, 1 2/3 looks a bit strange. There's my whole number, and there's my fraction 2/3. So that's what a fraction will look like when you're still in statistics mode. Alright, that fraction template that looks like that on your calculator screen will not work while you're in statistics mode. So we need to make sure that we get out of statistics mode by pressing mode, and we want just our normal calculations there. So press 1, it's gone, and my fraction template will now work. Okay, so that's how we enter small sets of data. So I hope you find that useful, and you can come back and refer to this at any stage.